So I've been at this raw vegan food diet stuff for a while, probably over a decade, even before I fully accepted any type of raw vegan challenge for like 3 days or a week or 30 days or for a year. And you could check that video out if you wonder about my experience with that on my YouTube channel. But one thing I've noticed is, actually I was on my raw vegan journey before I even committed to actively doing a cooked vegan diet. So that was around when I was doing a cooked vegan diet, exclusively vegan. I started that in November of 2016, right? So I guess that would be 9 years. Yeah, almost 10 years. That would be 9 years. And there are a few things I learned about this journey, and this in particular, not just the cooked vegan, non-cooked vegan, which is raw, and also omnivore diet. Not just that, just diets in general. Also the way the government talks about food and diet and the things that we need and the things that we don't. That's evolved over time. And when I first started looking into raw veganism and posting about it on social media and promoting those type of diets, I remember first coming across it and something clicked to me. It sounded like the best way to eat to me, you know? Before that, I was always on a health journey. My mom raised me that way. In a household, she didn't allow a lot of the artificial flavored and artificial colored cold cereals in the house. She did buy a juicer at one point. So, but for the most part, she used a lot of herbs, what we would call homeopathic remedies, a lot of herbs. And I remember I always was drinking tea, right? We never drank coffee, but I always had access to multiple types of teas, and I knew what they did, okay? I knew for what health reason I was drinking them at an early age, okay? So when I finally come across the raw vegan diet, I was like, wow, that sounds so powerful. If I could actually do it. Now, it took me all of those years to wrap my brain around, can I actually physically do it? But before that, I was promoting a diet because I really believed in it. You know, those types of paradigms or states where you can sense it's the truth, you know it's the truth, but you just don't understand how to take the step to get there so you can experience what you really believe you could be experiencing on this diet if you just did it and committed fully to it for however long of a time. But one thing I learned that is super important is you can't outsource your health to the government. You can't outsource your health to raw vegan or plant-based influencers. Now, you can get help, you can get assistance, but you can't be completely hands-off to advice that people give you, and you are none the wiser what is best for you. A big part of the reason why it's called the raw vegan journey, a lot of people say that, or the plant-based journey, is because you're learning and you're growing, and hopefully you're letting go of things that don't serve you, that no longer serve you. So it's an evolution of your healthy self, and that's personal, you know? So even though some people will give you advice, or government officials will give you a plate, tell you to put potatoes on one side, a tiny bit of greens on the other side, and a slab of beef or meat on the other side, it doesn't mean that that's a balanced plate. It doesn't mean that that's your highest joy, or that's going to be your experience with a very high health experience. So what should you do instead? Start with educating yourself on science-backed studies. Specifically, if you really, really trust doctors' advice and you really, really trust the government's guidance, you want to take the power back and walk yourself backwards so you have the full power, right? But you want to stay informed, but you just don't want all the power to go to news stories, blogs, or any fear-mongering ads that just try to get you to buy some type of health supplement, right? So you're going to do some research. I don't know what level of laziness you're at. Hopefully you're not a lazy being and you think you're worth it, and you want to just give a little bit more attention to your diet, to your health. But you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to prioritize yourself and your health. That's the biggest lesson, because there are so much lies that are being told. And maybe they're good-natured people, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're controlling. Maybe they're controlling and trying to control what you eat, consume, and how you feel about yourself to their consumer end. The almighty dollar, they think, or to control your mind for whatever end, to feel powerful. And you have to figure out for yourself, are you willing to be a mark? Now, you might have been coming in, you might have not had the, parent that I had to guide me health-wise and teach me that I could choose something different. She was definitely a rebel in that way. My mom, not just in that way, and religious practices as well. So she gave me, she allowed me to, she still does, she allowed me to, at some of my most formative years as a child, to feel that I could think freely. I can find out for myself. Okay? Now, yeah, there's some fear-mongering that goes with a lot of these guys' messages, right? Doctors, oh, do this or you're gonna die. Okay, you don't brush your teeth with fluoride, you're gonna get cancer. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever the gaslighting, fear-mongering stuff is. And again, empathy, or not empathy, but I understand those that really do believe these things and they really do feel like they're helping you and they're just passing it on. But there are people, there are entities, corporations, people that get in think tanks, in ad rooms, and they think about how to manipulate you to consume, to buy things. So are you going to outsource your health to those people? Or are you going to wise up and realize this is something that you can't outsource? Your health is your responsibility. And not only is your health your responsibility, but you should enjoy yourself. You should love yourself. So your health journey is your joy. It's your zest for life. You know what I mean? So don't muddy the waters any longer. Don't sour the taste in your mouth towards foods that are healthy. And television shows also, very influential. It's like a whole cultural thing I've learned over these whole years. I knew it when I was little, but I didn't even know how impactful and how sinister some people are, in their plans for you. And how they just want, they just really don't care about you. They just care about the bottom line. They care about money. They care about power. They care about keeping you down, keeping you confused, keeping you just curious enough where you listen to them, where they can provide the problem based on your insecurities. And the only insecurity that matters is you don't know who you are. So they love that, Think about that before you reach for your Doritos, cheese flavored, I mean, what is cheese flavored, really? When I was coming up, they had something called orange drink and grape drink. Do you know, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known that it wasn't real grape juice from actual plant. You know, I didn't realize that it's just flavoring and artificial coloring done in a lab, you know, chemicals slapped with an actual fruit orange on the label to make you think it's actually made of fruit. At least back then it used to say 10% fruit juice when you look closer, so you could kind of figure like, what's the rest of that? You know, now I don't even know if it even says that. They don't even tell on themselves like that. So it's hidden. So understand, it's a predatory nature, right? But you have God within you. And believe it or not, if you put your mind on having that third eye real crystal clear, real open, real unapologetic and fearless, if you just switch over from being like a baby when it comes to, oh, I can't do anything, and they said to eat a ham sandwich, and well, the doctor says to take the prescription, you know, all of that stuff. If you decide to actually boss up against your own ego that's trying to destroy you, this outsourcing section of ego that's trying to destroy you, because you have everything that you need, and it's not really hard. But with that type of thinking, that type of identity, that you need a handler or you need someone outside of yourself to teach you something. Your body is your best teacher. I know it's scary to think, okay, I'll experiment on myself. Or the very famous term, I don't want to be anyone's guinea pig. Will you be your own? Not saying it has to go there, but it can. Oh, you know, a year ago or a few years ago, fasting will kill you. Fasting is starvation. Then all of a sudden the infamous they, jump on the bandwagon once they realize how to package it to you. Because, you know, fasting really is free. But then they think, how can I make money around this? And then they find ways. Oh, okay, let me show you, you know, this and these cleansing herbs and this and that. And it's like, these are things that people discovered on their own. People have been doing probably for centuries, actually, you know, but when corporations get a hold of it, you know, it's business. That's the name of the game. So it's not to villainize corporations. It's just to realize corporations, including the corporation of the government, is not here for your optimal health. Now, they could come around later and get on a bandwagon of what you already start, but you have to be a pioneer. You have to be a self-starter. So these are some of the most important things I learned about not just eating vegan, but also having the mindset of a person that doesn't take no shit, you know, and does her own research, you know, not just through books that someone else wrote and through the loving community of people that share their ups and downs and you could decipher for yourself, but through myself, through my own trial and, dare I say, error. But it's not an error, it's not a loss if it's a lesson. So I hope this message helped you and realize that you're strong enough, and you should really choose who you listen to, choose what you believe, and be careful about the people that are also addicted to outside confirmation that they're healthy, with tests and all types of ads and, you know, Dr. such and such on KFC news or whatever. KFC. But, you know, beware, you know, of those people that are like agents. Those are the ops. Well-meaning as they appear, those are the ops. They're afraid. And they're showing love. They're fearful for you. So they're going to try to make you eat a chicken wing. Or say, oh, you know, I saw in this report that vegan babies starve, you know. And I again, this is 80% of it. It's the mental warfare. It's the mental part. So stay strong. I know you can do it. And if it matters to you enough, and I'm sure it does, or you wouldn't be listening this long, then make sure you keep that pivot. Keep that strong about face from the fake news, and just be yourself and be a loving self. And I will see you again. And I'm so glad I got to speak to you again about this topic. And I wish you guys well. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.